Hi, we are here at MTMP. I'm here with Katherine Hoffmann, CEO of SMARTReviews. She's one of our best partners in lead acquisition or case acquisition. Thank you for joining us, Katherine. Why don't you tell us a little bit of what you do with us?
At SMARTReviews, we partner with marketing vendors like IMG, who've been amazing to work with, and we provide a secondary QC process. So once the lead has been signed, they've signed the retainer, they met the initial criteria that's been set by the firm, and they've signed a HIPAA, the lead comes to us, and we run through a process of background check, running through an internal database for dual reps, duplicate claims, known frauds. And then if it's a medical tort, we'll call the facility ahead to make sure they are treating with their claim provider. And then we call the client. We don't go through the intake again. We ask some additional questions just to make sure they do truly qualify based on the criteria. And if there's any suspicion for deceit, we run through a whole nother series of questions. We address anything that was found in our internal search to make sure that, anyone that is trying to participate in the lawsuit that does not truly qualify isn't getting in, which your company has been amazing to work with because,
Likewise.
thank you. We're giving that feedback in real time, which I think for a lot of marketers is a big part of the struggle.
Yes.
Is that you can be doing everything the right way. And if a claimant is wanting to be deceitful, or unfortunately there are Reddit groups set up, and people that are intentionally using clean, good marketing links, right?
Yes.
And you don't know unless you're getting feedback in real time. And so we provide that feedback immediately so you can see.
Which is great. I think lots of marketing agencies are blind because they don't know what result they are finally getting. And I think what you do is really great in helping us, not only lawyers or attorneys, but also marketing agencies. There's a KPI we use frequently, which is the viability score. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, once we've done our whole process with the claimants and we attempt to try and get any kind of proof, if it's medical tort, a medical record, if it's like an abuse claim, proof that they were at the facility where the abuse occurred. Once we've done our whole process, we score the cases as non-viable and why, right? Which is also important for a firm so they can release them on ingestion, exactly why the case is being released. And then potentially viable means that they've gone past RQC, and this is a good lead. This is someone who appears that more likely than not will be a compensable claim. And then we have the confirmed, which is we've confirmed, which is kind of like a bonus to the process, right? The primary goal is to make sure we're getting the bad ones out and y'all can adjust in real time.
Yep.
But then some percent of them will get confirmed through our process. So the firm also gets to ingest some, for the cost of a lead, they're kind of getting a confirmed case through it. And what, like I said, has been really great is the good marketers, the ones that really care and are trying to do this the right way, the ones that see, longevity in this space, are using that feedback like your team does, right?
Yes. To improve.
We hear from you constantly.
Yes.
And I love that. It's incredible how much y'all care and want to be doing things the right way. And if you're running multiple ads on the same campaign and you, for whatever reason, the non-viables are coming from one source, you can
just shut it down.
Correct. And we know that you do it because we've watched y'all in the year that we've worked together grow. Your viability has just consistently grown, which tells us you've been using that feedback correctly,
For sure.
which is incredible to see because we want to partner with good marketers to get, the frauds out of the space. And we want budgets to be going to the right place because all of us at the bottom of this have the same goal, right? Which is protecting the injured people and protecting their right to be able to fight for themselves.
Sure.
Which if things, if there is an intervention and people doing things the right way, tort reform is going to push us all out of this space. So
totally.
It's been wonderful to see a company like yours that's really moved with us and grown with us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. What are the common red flags that you spot that firms or marketing agencies overlook?
So I think a lot of the fraud now has gotten a lot more savvy. And so I think it's very difficult for an intake center really to spot a lot of it. Everyone can be doing everything correctly. And really where I think we've become necessary in this space is that it isn't until you have the rights that come along with someone who has now signed to legally agree to participate in a lawsuit, right? And they have signed that they do believe they have a compensable claim, and they've signed a HIPAA. That gives us a different ability, right, than a marketer or an intake center is going to have prior to those documents.
Yeah.
And so we need those tools in order to combat this problem. And so I think the biggest difference that can be made when actually acquiring is understanding the rate of ingestion of real leads in any tort, right? We saw when NEC was running, we would see marketers doing 1,000 in a week
Wow.
of NEC cases. Anyone in the medical field can tell you that doesn't make any sense, right? And so, but no one knew what was the logical rate of ingestion of true leads, right? And so being able to now that, because that one started sort of when we were just starting out this process of doing the secondary QC, as soon as the tort is running, we can say, hey, here's what we're seeing, right? We can say, hey, right now, if there's anybody still out there trying to get depot cases, right, which we've actually seen y'all are still managing to get some good depot cases in. You're one of the few that we're still getting real depot cases from. But it's going to be very hard to get a depot case for less than $10,000 right now. And it's going to be very hard to get more than 1 to 3 a week, right? That's just the facts. And so these torts are going to go through a life cycle, right? And at any point in that, it's really important to have the data to know what does it really cost to get a good lead, right? And how fast can you get them? And if you use those tools, especially when you're talking to firms, and a firm says to you, hey, I want depot cases, I want them for 5,000, I want at least 30 this week. You can say, listen, I can't see the whole universe, but I know who can. And we know it's not going to happen. And so I'm not going to sell you a bill of goods. Like, I'm not going to sell you something that there's no way can come to fruition. And so it helps with the integrity of the marketers, the expectation of the firms and the investors. So, yeah.
Cool. Is there any specific campaign that you have identified to be really complicated on your side in terms of what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah. So obviously, the abuse cases, unfortunately, it's sad to say that there are so many going on right now. The adult abuse cases are much easier for us to do our system because of public documentation, for one, and then the ability for the facilities, their willingness to work with us. Because this thing, we'll just call facilities when we start on a new tort and say, hey, we don't want anyone to make false claims against your facility. What can we do to work together to help verify who's legitimate, right? And where we've run into an issue is on the juvenile ones. Rightfully so, they're much more protective of that data. Even when we have the claimant on the phone, we struggle. There is a document that the claimants can send to get confirmation. And in the beginning, we were getting them back very quickly. And now they're saying, it might be 12 to 14 weeks before we can confirm that you were here at this facility. So that's probably been the most difficult one. And it's a difficult demographic in all the abuse cases.
It's a tough case. And lastly, what would you say to other marketers that are not using the type of service you provide so far?
I would say that even if you think you're immune to the fraud in the space, you're not, unfortunately. You can do everything clean, everything the right way. I know working with your company that y'all want to do everything the right way. I love that about you guys. But you also are honest that it's impacted you as well, right? And so, which is important. It's important to say none of us are immune to this problem. And so how do we work together? And if you aren't able to get real-time feedback, and I think, 10 years ago when it was the glory days of TV and radio, right? The feedback from the firm was, we got the person on the phone, they're good. And we knew doing case workup then that maybe you had 30% fallout of people that moved or, signed with another firm or whatever happened. But if they got on the phone, more likely than not, you're going to have a compensable case.
Yep.
That's not where we are now. And just because a lead that's come to your firm is picking up the phone, that doesn't mean they're legitimate. The frauds will always answer. They know they have to if they want to get paid. And so I think it's really important for the marketers to realize that the feedback from the firm is dangerous in a sense that just because these people are answering and they're giving the firm the right answer doesn't mean they're telling the truth. And it might then still be that 2-3 months down the road, when those cases actually get worked up, that firm's coming back and saying, what did you do? Look what you sold me. And for the marketers, they're thinking, not only did you say it was going well, you were giving me more money to buy more, right? And so I think that if you aren't getting, and it doesn't have to be us, right? But in some way that you're getting, you need to be getting real-time actual feedback on the legitimacy of the leads that you're selling, or you are just setting yourself up for a problem later down the road.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Katherine.
Yes, this was wonderful.
Thank you for stopping by.
Great. Yes, thank you.